Hi guys, so I welcome you back on Jagdan Farms, your favorite channel where you get to learn everything catfish farming. So today on our channel, we are going to talk about one major water management system called the recirculating aquaculture system, in short RAS. RAS system is a system implemented on farms to reduce the amount of water used on farm. Here lies the case that most of our water bodies, our rivers, our streams are mostly polluted, and then the responsibility now falls on fish farmers to find more methods or technologies that will help reduce the amount of water taken from these water sources. So without much ado, let's go straight to the key concept of a recirculating aquaculture system. So welcome back. So just as I said, a recirculating aquaculture system is a closed-loop system that helps reduce the amount of water used on your farm to increase the quality of water used on farm, and then also to prevent disease and then thereby increase productivity on farm. So these are the basic components of a recirculating aquaculture system. Every recirculating aquaculture system must have a solid remover, a solid state waste remover, that is fish feces, leftover feeds. A recirculating aquaculture system must have a solid waste remover, a fine waste remover, and then a chemical waste remover. You know, our water perimeters comprises of the biological water perimeter, the chemical water perimeter, and then the physical water perimeters. The physical water perimeters, which comprises of the TSS, which is total suspended solid. This refers to the solids or waste that suspends on top of your pond water. And then the TDS stands for total dissolved solids. That is the solids that sinks or dissolves into your pond water. They don't normally stay on top of your water, but then probably sinks to the bottom or somewhere within your pond. Basically, these are some physical water perimeters that a recirculating aquaculture system must be able to take care of. So let's look at the chemical water perimeters that a recirculating aquaculture system must be able to take care of. That is the ammonia, the nitrites, the nitrates, the free chlorine, the carbon dioxide. These forms the chemical perimeters of your pond water. Before I get lost in all those things, let's get straight to the major components of a recirculating aquaculture system. I made mention of the filtering system, which comprises of the mechanical chamber, the biological chamber, and then also your fish tank. So a basic recirculating aquaculture system must have a fish tank, that is for culturing your fish, the filtering chamber, that comprises of the solid state remover, that is the mechanical chamber, the clarifier, that is the fine filtering chamber, and then also the chemical chamber, that is your biological chamber. That is where the chemical substances are converted to beneficiary substances for your fish. That is where the nitrification process kicks off. If someone is asking what is nitrification process is just the oxidation process that converts ammonia to nitrite and then to nitrate. That is it. So this nitrification process in your biological chamber is performed by the help of two bacteria in your biological chamber. That is the ammonia oxidizing bacteria and then the ammonia oxidizing archaea. I don't want to get you lost again, but then let me show you, or let me explain to you the basic tools you need in your recirculating aquaculture system before we go on a tour to explain further the concept and then the various stages of a recirculating aquaculture system. So you will need first a fish tank, just as I said. You also need an aerator to help your recirculating aquaculture system perform well. You need an aerator. You can do away with the aeration aspect, or you can find another means to aerate your pond. You don't always have to get the aerator set, but if you have the aerator, it helps. Basically, it helps make your system reach around 99% or 90% performance ratio. So you need to also get an aerator, and then your filters as well. your solid state filter, and then your fine filter. The fine filter are filters with smaller holes, and then probably the mechanical filter or the solid state filter are filters with slightly bigger holes than the fine filter. You also need a UV section. That is, if you can afford a UV section. The UV light is very important because it helps kill bacteria in your returning water to the pond. So let's get straight to the basic components again. As you see here, we have our fish tank here. That is where the culturing is done. Our fish is being placed in. So this is the first stage of our filtering, RAS system. Basically, the pond where you store your fish is the culturing system, the culturing chamber. That is where you keep your fish. So in the culturing chamber or your fish tank, all what we have in is of course your pond water, and then we have some form of aeration going on in. That is, if you have your aerator, you dip your stones or air diffusers in the pond as well, and then your fish. Basically, that is all that is in your fish tank, your fish, your water, and probably your aeration media, that is the diffuser or the air stone. So let's go straight to the filtering chamber back there, and then I'll explain to you more. So guys, this is my filtering system right here. So let me explain to you the basic stages. This is my mechanical chamber where solid particles are being removed, and this is my fine filtering chamber. It's also a mechanical chamber that is also serves as a clarifier. It clarifies the water after the big waste substances are removed from this filtering chamber. The water is then channeled to this chamber where it removes the fine particles. You can see there is no dirt from this water. You can see how the incoming water is very dirty, and then the fine or the clarifier also clarifies the water and then being sent to this chamber where the actual filtration or the biological filtration, the chemical filtration is done. So this is where the ammonia, the nitrite, and the nitrate is being taken out of my pond water. Earlier, I was then using this chamber as my biological chamber, only this chamber, but then I realized the nitrification process doesn't really happen, or it doesn't happen to my satisfaction. So I then had to add this filtering chamber as well to it. So this is an extra biological chamber. I have my biomedia here. That is the lids of bottle. That is the food grade bottle lids. Lids that have perforated holes in them. I also have these Rolex. This is what the women use for their hair. It's also a biological media where the beneficiary bacteria attach themselves to these substances. They always like to probably attach themselves to things with rough surface area. So these are what I'm using in there. And then this is the right biological media, but then it comes with a cost. So I had to utilize the bottle lids and then the ring media right here, which I also use them. So the water from these two tanks, after being clarified here and then here, it moves to this chamber. And before pumping it through my UV section, the water then comes to this biological media as well. I have, sorry how I'm holding the camera, sorry. But then I have this gravels right here. And then I have some. So I have these cotton filters, and then also some form of mesh filters as well here, so that the beneficiary bacteria in this particular chamber will attach themselves to this. It is very important that you have enough biomedia in your biological chamber. The gravel is supposed to be enough, but just to increase the surface area of the places where probably they will attach themselves. That is why I choose to add more media to my biological media. So chambers here, this and this as well. So you can see how the water is flowing from the inlet pipe, which is down there. You can see the inlet pipe, which is down there, from the other filtering chambers, comes through this inlet pipe And then this pump, submersible pump, takes part of the water to this chamber as well. And when it's overflow here, this overflow drainage takes it from this tank to prevent overflow here. And remember, your biological chambers must always have water. They must not run dry. So I just gauge it in a certain way that when it's overflowing, the water takes its course through this outlet pipe and then to this chamber. And whenever it drops, it creates aeration as well, more dissolved oxygen in this pond water. So you can see how it is done. I have air diffusers as well, but just as I said earlier, I'm not running aeration 24 hours. No, it will cost me. So I just do these simple tricks to increase the oxygen content whilst the aerator is turned off. So probably around 3 p.m. or in the evening where there's not much oxygen within the atmosphere, I'll choose to turn the aerator off. Remember, aeration is best done in the afternoon. This is because there is photosynthesis going on in the atmosphere, and then they tend to produce more oxygen in the atmosphere. But in the evening, there is not much oxygen in the atmospheric air. So I then turn my aerator off just to have it rest for a while. So this is my UV section. The water from the last filtering chamber comes to this or goes through this tube where bacteria are being killed by the UV light, and then the water then comes to the individual ponds. So this is how the division is done, from this pond to this pond and then to these ponds as well. So before the water drops, I also ensure some form of aeration here. This is done to increase the oxygen content. I can choose to add another filter, cotton filter here, just to clarify the water more. And then if you get to this chamber, you can see how I've pierced holes at the bottom. This helps to increase the oxygen content in the water again here. So I've mimicked the same thing right here as well. You can see how the fishes enjoy the drops here. So guys, this is all you need to know about the recirculating aquaculture system. In my next video, I will talk about the advantages and disadvantages of recirculating aquaculture system. Kindly stay tuned to my channel and then subscribe. If you've not subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe, kindly like the videos to enable me to make more videos as such. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.